Hi, I'm Harriet Emily. Welcome to my sound healing studio at the Harrods Wellness Clinic. Come on in. I would say my main inspiration to kind of start working with sound was a trip that I took when I was 18. I always felt like I needed to visit the US, and I really felt drawn to California and Los Angeles. And when we went out there, I went on a trip with my mum to celebrate my birthday, and it was all just very much by chance that I found a yoga studio that was just down the street from where we were staying, and we thought, let's go in, let's see if we feel like exploring yoga. And we took a class, and at the end of the class, we didn't know, but they played the gong, which is this instrument behind me. And as I was laying still with my eyes closed, when I felt the vibrations of this instrument, and especially because I didn't know what was happening, I was so mesmerized by the way that the sound made me feel, because it wasn't just listening to something. You could really feel the vibrations as they traveled through your body, because this instrument in particular has a really powerful vibratory element to it. So I was just so blown away by this sound that, because it was such a pivotal time in my life when I was 18 and I didn't know what I was going to be doing outside of school, it really gave me a chance to feel like I'd found something that excited me and something that I really enjoyed. So when I was 18, I was at a real crossroads. I didn't want to go to university. I didn't know what I wanted to do for a career, but by simply just taking a chance, going to a yoga class, really enjoying it, gave me a sense of excitement that I hadn't felt for quite a long time, especially when it came to thinking about what I wanted to do for a career and for a living. And literally that one experience is what started my whole journey into exploring this field. When you're at the start of any holistic practice, you are likely to feel like a beginner, and you may have times where you don't feel confident, or you may feel as though there's still so much to learn. And I always encourage people to share and create a space that is inspired by your experiences throughout life. You have so much richness and wisdom in your life experiences that you can really pull upon those things to help others when you're holding space for them, to be mindful, to be compassionate with whatever people bring in a session. So I would say, even if you feel new at the start of your journey, or if you feel like there's still so much out there, remember how much you've lived through as a person. Remember all the things you've experienced, you've grown through, all the things that you've learned in your personal life, and use that to help really boost your confidence in knowing that there are things you've learned from and you can pull upon them. They will naturally help your practice. So I always encourage people, share from your experience. That will be something that instantly makes you feel more confident. It's something you've experienced firsthand. You know how it makes you feel, but also it reminds you that regardless of whether you're on a new path, that path is a huge part of your entire life. You're never completely new at something, so allow that to be what gives you a boost of confidence at the start of your journey. I would say that my classic sound bath is definitely my most popular, and it's something that is really the foundation of my practice. So a classic sound bath that people would often book in with me would start with just a kind of check-in at the beginning. We have a talk just about what's going on in life for you at the moment. It's your opportunity to share if there is a reason that's more specific for why you've come, whether that's something going on in your external life, or if you're ready to embrace something new. And once we've shared at the beginning, I then lead into a real varied sound bath journey that starts with deeper, heavier vibrations of the gongs to really start your journey in a way that's very grounding. And then I would lead into the crystal singing bowls, which are a much more euphoric, uplifting sound, before then closing the journey with something like the chimes, which are a really uplifting but also awakening sound that's perfect for bringing you back to the space to reawaken. So my classic sound bath is really my most popular because I find the sounds that you listen to take you on a full journey. You start somewhere quite deep, quite low, and then you rise up into a much more uplifting sound before being brought back down to reawaken with a much more stimulating sound at the end of the journey. I think my favourite treatment for offering people in a one-to-one setting is when I combine a card reading at the start of a sound bath, and that's because when someone comes to me for a session, often people don't always know what it is that they're looking for, or perhaps they really feel like there's a certain area of their life they want to focus on. So when I work with the cards, I normally work with tarot or oracle cards, and that's something I've worked with for 20 years. I would find that the messages, the guidance, the little ideas that pop up in the cards when I pull them at the start of a session can really spark a seed for someone to have a really clear focus during the session. I find that often when I use cards at the beginning, it's also a really nice way to help someone feel a little bit more comfortable in the space. It allows them to open up and share about certain things that might be going on, so that then when we enter the sound journey, and because every sound journey I create is bespoke, it gives me the opportunity to create a guided meditation at the start that's completely focused on that individual and potentially what came up through the cards. I find tarot cards really amazing because they are pieces of paper, but they don't have an ego or an agenda. They literally just have a meaning, a word, a phrase that can really catapult you into a space of clarity when perhaps before you were feeling a little bit stuck or a little bit blocked. This clear phrase or statement that it can offer can really create a new avenue of thought for someone, especially at the start of a treatment where they are more vulnerable and they're here to receive something. Hi, I'm Harriet Emily. Thank you so much to Salon Gold Insurance for showcasing my sound healing studio today.